Coming up on today's Locked On Senators. Ahead of their final game of the regular season, the Sens have made an interesting roster move on defense.
And we asked you on Twitter at Sens Central, when was the moment that you knew Tim Stützle would be a superstar?
We give our answers to that and more, and it's all brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. This is the Locked On Senators podcast. It's your team every day.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I'm Jake Sanderson, and you're listening to Locked On Senators podcast.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Welcome inside episode 776 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan on the outskirts of enemy territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Alongside Brandon Pillar up in the Blue Mountains, please like and subscribe to Locked On Senators wherever you get your podcasts, including on YouTube, and leave a comment below. Today's comment, we want to know, when did you know that Tim Stützle was a true superstar? We got a lot of great answers on Twitter. We're going to get into that and more. Today is Wednesday, April 12th, and Pilsy, the Senators swapping youth on defense. Jacob Bernard-Docker goes down to Belleville, and Max Guenette will get his first National Hockey League game.
Yeah, it's exciting for Max for sure that he's going to get an opportunity here in the very final game of the season in Buffalo. And at first, Ross, it was a bit of a kind of surprise move for me. I was like, oh, well, I thought they'd want to see a little bit more from JBD. And I wouldn't say he's played poorly here, that he's deserved an emotion or anything. But then I kind of took a second look at Guenette's stats in Belleville, and he's put up a nice season down there. So I feel like that was the right move for Sens management to be like, hey, kid, we've seen what you've been doing. We've seen the work you've put in, and you're a right shot defenseman. We could use some of those up in Ottawa, so we'll see what you got in a one-game small sample size here.
Yeah, reminiscent of Victor Lodin last year, getting that last call-up last game. And the reason I bring that up, Victor Lodin has only played in one NHL game, but now that Max Guenette has played in one NHL game, every single member of the Sens 2019 draft class has reached the National Hockey League. Max Guenette was a 7th-round pick, 187th overall, and now you're making it to the show, kid. In Belleville this year, Guenette has 38 points, the most among defensemen down in Belleville. He's played 69 games, 4 goals, 34 assists, and that's building on last year, his rookie year in the AHL, when he had 19 points in 48 games. Pretty respectable numbers there as well. He's a QMJHL kid, played in Val d'Or with the Foreur, the miners down there. Miners, like digging, not in Belleville where he's been plying his trade recently, but offensive defenseman, has a bit of a two-way style. He has been mentored over the past 2-3 years by Thomas Chabot, who I think has taken a liking to the kid. You might remember not this training camp, but last, Guenette's first NHL training camp, and maybe even the one before, he was paired at the start with Thomas Chabot as kind of a carrot dangling. Say, hey, you want to play with one of your idols? That could be fun, wouldn't it? So I think you're going to see a player that's going to come in here, hopefully keep things simple, but then you have to remember what got you here too, right, Pilsy? And for him, it's that ability to see the ice well and hold on to pucks and make the right decision when he's breaking out of his own zone.
Yeah, and I mean, a guy that puts up high 30s in points as a young defenseman in the AHL, he clearly has a skill set, and he's clearly able to move the puck up the ice. So it's going to be interesting to see where they put him in the lineup, Ross. My first inclination is they'll simply swap him with spots that JBD was at. So on a bottom pair with Tyler Kleven, which I think that could be a nice yin and yang pair. You got Tyler Kleven, physical, great defender, good gap control. And when you need to move that puck up the ice, toss it over to Guenette, and he's bringing it up for you. So I think that could be a pair that works, but
you know, I don't play with, right?
Who?
The receptionist, Nick Holden. Everyone plays with Nick Holden.
Yeah, true. Yeah. To play with the Ottawa Senators, first, please go contact Nick Holden at the front desk. You'll spend some time with him filling out forms, and then we'll get you on your way here. But no, I'd be surprised if that happens. I think he's going to play with Clevin. That's my guess.
Okay, I'll go with Nick Holden just for fun because
Yeah.
it would be a great storyline there. Max Guenette is in the second year of his entry-level contract, so he's signed next year as well. And unlike Jacob Bernard-Docker and Lassie Thompson, Max Guenette does not need waivers next year, so it's a good free look right now at a guy who could be up and down as JBD or Lassie. And Lassie, I think this may be the final nail in the coffin of Lassie Thompson's NHL development in Ottawa. I think he's still going to get a chance, but you look at when he hasn't been called up since November. He's only played 2 games this year in the NHL. Last year he played a bunch more, and it seems like Guenette and even I know Lefty, but even like Tyler Clevin, these guys have all kind of jumped him on the depth chart. But that's a conversation for the summer. Right now, we're just happy to see kids get their first opportunity. Another rookie lap. How many rookie hot laps have we gotten this year, Pillsy? Just off the top of my head, Tyler Clevin, Dylan Ferguson, Kevin Mandolese. I'm blanking beyond that, but there has to be
Levy
front. Levy Marilainen, so that's 4. Jake Sanderson in the first game of the season.
Yep.
I think that might be it.
No. Jake Lucchini.
Okay, yeah. Oh, then we can really ball out here.
Had Shark Routier played in the NHL before? I think he had.
Yeah, in San Jose he had.
Yeah.
Oh, people are probably so mad that we're missing some guys right now. We're trying our best. No, I think we might actually have them all here. Ridley Gregg.
Yeah, of course. Ridley Gregg, yes.
Ridley Gregg. And that is everyone, as I have the roster now pulled up in front of me. So you look at Max Guenette, who will wear number 50 tomorrow night. Let us know who you would pair him with. Is it the receptionist? Is it Tyler Clevin? Or you want to get absolutely wild and put him up with Jake Sanderson? That's not me, but the only other left-hand option up front if you're going to look at the back end. For the Ottawa Senators, but Max Guenette expected to be in the lineup when the Ottawa Senators take on the Buffalo Sabres in what is now a meaningless game for both teams. Coming up on the other side, we'll take a look at the playoff picture from Buffalo's perspective, or Ottawa's, I guess we could say, because a Sens win and a Buffalo loss on Friday would jump the Senators ahead of Buffalo in the standings. Is that something that for morale you want at the end of the season? Or are you looking at it like, hey, if we finish lower, I know it's not Ottawa's pick, but Buffalo will draft 1 pick later in the teens? Is that some mental mind games you want to play? We'll get into that and more next. You're listening to Locked On Senators.
This episode is brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. Guys, there is only 1 game left in the season for your Ottawa Senators. So if you're in the Toronto area or close to Buffalo in Southern Ontario, why not get some tickets? Check it out at Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite event should not be stressful. Game Time is fast and easy, so you can buy tickets for not just sports. Ross, you can go to music events, concerts, comedy, theater, anything like that. They can help you out with killer deals on last-minute tickets. Their best price guaranteed. You don't need to stress over buying tickets. GamePlace is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in ahead. They'll get you tickets right to the day of the event. They have flash deals on all their events, and the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And what I love about Game Time is you can always see the image of your seat, so you know what to expect when you arrive. You don't have to worry about a pole or some weird thing obstructing your view. You can always make sure you're going to love the tickets that you get with Game Time. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you don't have to dig through your email or print anything off. Guys, check it out at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Today's episode is also brought to you by my happy place. It's Shawarma Palace. You know how much we love Shawarma Palace, Ottawa's #1 location for shawarma since 1997. Now, when we were in Ottawa last week, you see every street you go down, shawarma shop, shawarma shop, shawarma shop. But which one has stood the test of time? Which one has the best quality, the most quantity, and the greatest vibes? Yes, they are Ottawa Senators fans just like you, and that's why you should support your friends at Shawarma Palace. They have 9 Ottawa locations. You're never too far away from a Shawarma Palace, whether you're at Bank and Hunt Club, whether you're downtown, whether you're on Rideau Street, really anywhere. You can't be too far away. They even have one in Orleans at the Carleton University Food Court and at the Saint Laurent Shopping Center. So go check them out and go get the platter, get the extra garlic, have some fun with it. Or you want a quick grab and go? The wraps are delicious. They put them right on the grill for just enough time that the fresh ingredients on the inside, the salad, the turnips, all that great stuff stays nice and fresh, but the outside gets that crispiness that you know and come to love from Shawarma Palace. So go visit them. Sens game days taste better at Shawarma Palace, and also eat like a royal at Shawarma Palace for not the cost of what you get at the grocery store. Go see them today at Shawarma Palace. We love our friends at Shawarma Palace. All right, Billsy. I'm excited to see Max Guenette. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I mentioned this just in passing, so I should say this with a little more oomph.
Oh.
The 2019 draft class for the Ottawa Senators is 6 for 6.
Woo.
That's pretty impressive. How many off the top of your head? Put you on the spot here with some trivia. How many players from the 2019 Sens draft class can you name off the top of your head?
Loading.
Lodine, there you go.
Guenette.
Yes.
3
others are with the team right now.
JBD.
No. 2018. Oh, you got to get one of them.
Oh man,
Oh.
this is brutal.
Dude.
Pinto.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. 98 games.
Pinto.
He's leading the way. You need a first rounder and another second and then the 5th.
Who else? Well, Lassie Thompson.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But he's not with the team now.
No, but the other 2 are. I said 3 of them were with the team.
Gotcha.
Yeah. One's a goalie.
Mads was 2019?
Mads Sogard.
Oh, okay. True.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm tapping out.
No, final hint. You saw him score a goal on Saturday.
Oh, Julien Gauthier, not him.
He didn't get drafted by Ottawa.
Casty.
Yes, sir. Mark Kastlik. Let's go.
Oh,
All
man. Ross, it's too early in the morning for me to be good at trivia. I've only got a couple sips into my coffee, so that's a tough one for me.
Well, what do you want? I'll ease into this next conversation. You want to talk some playoffs or you want to talk about Tim Stützle?
Playoffs? We'll go Tim Stützle.
All right. We tweeted out yesterday at Sens Central. When was the moment you knew Tim Stützle was going to be a true superstar? We got a lot of great answers. 96 replies to this tweet, and there were some themes for sure. We'll get into them after. But what is your answer, Pillsy? Everybody's dying to know.
Yeah, this is interesting for me because I feel like there wasn't like, at least that's standing out to me. I got a terrible memory, so there's not like one thing that instantly flashes to me. So I'll kind of cheat a little bit here, Ross, but not necessarily a moment, but when we knew that he could succeed as a centerman, that's when I knew Tim Stützle could become a superstar, because though when he was playing on the wing, things just didn't quite seem right. You know what I mean? He wasn't able to skate and roam like we thought, because when he was on the wing, I was like, oh, he's going to be a nice player. Like, he's going to be a great part of this top 6. Like, he's going to support guys like Brady, guys like Norris. He's going to support these guys. But then when he moved to center and he figured it out and he was able to not only become a better playmaker, but a better scorer as well, that's when I was like, okay, we got a real superstar on our hands here, because this team needed a top six centerman to kind of combo with Josh Norris. And not only has he become a top six centerman, he's a number one centerman easily on this team. So I hope that's not too much navigating through your question, Ross. But for me, the moment I knew Tim Stützle was a superstar is when he was able to become a centerman in the National Hockey League.
I think that's a 10 out of 10 answer, Pillsy. I love it because we got a lot of people that said his first NHL goal, which is a beauty. The puck went basically touch God up in the heavens and dropped down onto a tee. And sure, it was like Little League. It was like a mix of Happy Gilmore just stepping into a drive. And, then you get the fact it goes upstairs short side on Jack Campbell, who's sliding over to the cross. We got that a lot. And I appreciate people who wanted to see it at the National Hockey League level. Could he put the puck in the back of the net? We also had a lot of people that said the World Juniors, where he dominated for a German team that you might remember all had COVID at the start. They lost 11-0, I want to say, to Canada, if not worse. It might have been 17-1 or something.
I thought it was 14-2 for some reason. And
they had 11 players.
The hilarious thing about that is, I don't know how many players in the history of hockey were rewarded with an NHL contract after their team lost by over double digits in goals.
Yes, that night they say, Timmy, let's make you feel better. Here's your signing bonus.
Honestly, that's exactly what it was. Like, hey, kid, don't worry about it. You're going to be playing in the show, and you're going to get your signing bonus real soon here.
Yeah, check that out. The one I replied just because I wanted people to see the highlight was his backhand toe drag pass against Toronto, where they're wearing those disgusting St. Patty's Day jerseys. But that was filthy. Put it right on a tee for Drake Batherson. You can see that in the replies on Twitter. I also want to pull up Mark wrote this great response, and I actually want to read it here. Because it's like yours, where it's not a single, well, I guess it is a moment, but it's not a moment that happened to Timmy. It's a moment that happened to Brady. Mark saying, and I just want to center this out here because I suck at cropping. Here we go. Mark wrote in saying, when Brady was named captain, it meant Timmy was never going to have to deal with the pressure of being the franchise savior as a third overall pick. He's free to play his game because Brady looks out for him on and off the ice. You can see his confidence, and Brady enables it. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a good one, because that's the thing. I feel like if, maybe there was more pressure being put on Timmy, we see it. This guy wears his heart on his sleeve in games. When he's frustrated, it's not like, oh, I wonder if Timmy's pissed. No, Timmy's pissed. He's slamming doors. He's smashing water bottles. He's shaking his head. He's being vocal. He's probably saying some swear words that I would be able to translate in German to himself as well. So it's important to have a guy like Brady and have leadership for someone like Timmy, so that they don't feel that the weight of this franchise and every single thing hangs in the balance of their performance. So that's a great answer by our guy, Mark P. at Gord's Take on Twitter.
And I forget which fight it was exactly, but you remember the one during Timmy's rookie year where Brady stepped in, got the fight, and Timmy, and he had that moment when he's in the penalty box. And after the game, Timmy's like, I've never seen somebody like be that much of a beast on the ice.
Yeah.
So,
and Timmy's face was so funny. He skates by the box and just like, oh, Brady. And Brady's like in his own world, and he sees Timmy do that. And he's like, yeah, man, like, this is what I do.
Well, and also, yeah, when Brady was in his draft process and draft rankings coming soon, where one of the quotes was, if there's a scrum, Brady started it.
Yeah, no kidding.
At Boston University, that line sticks out always. I love it. But yeah, I think that's a very good note. And then you could even say that bringing in Giroux kind of takes off the pressure extra on both of them. And that line, like, I'm putting a lock next to that in any premature projeculations that we do this summer. We're putting the lock emoji next to Kachuk, Stützle, Giroux. I don't want to see anybody get fancy and try to split them up. No.
In stone. Like, get your chisel out, start chiseling that line.
Hieroglyphics. Just get it in there. We're ready to go.
To be seen for thousands of years to come. Everyone will know Ottawa Senators' top line in the from 2022 forward will be as such. Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, Claude Giroux.
Let us know in the comments what your moment was when you're like, damn, this Tim Stützle kid, He's legit. Some other great answers. People sent me a photo of Byfield at the draft and said when he put on the Kings jersey, we knew Timmy was ours, and that's when I was bought in all the way. You might remember a tweet the day before the draft, more like Timmy Superstar, according to Locked On Senators.
Yep. And the thing with that whole Byfield Stützle thing, Ross, is I want everyone to know, like, I was so clouded in my vision. I just had Byfield, I thought, was going to be the perfect guy to play with Brady. They're going to bring so much size up front. They're going to be a mean team to play against. I was all in on Byfield, and I think that made me damper my thoughts about what Tim Stützle could bring to this team as well. And I think I was a little, I didn't bash Tim Stützle, but I was definitely more down on him than I should have been. And I'm glad that I was humbled and that I was proven wrong, because Tim Stützle clearly is the guy of that entire draft. Well, I mean, Jake Sanderson might have something to say for it, but as far as offensive forwards go, or forwards in general, he's the dude. He's that dude.
He is so sick at hockey and only going to get better. He'll be 21 until 2024. January birthday. Unreal times ahead for Tim Stützle and the Ottawa Senators. A reminder that anytime that the Ottawa Senators pop into your mind, you can find us at Locked On Senators. New episodes daily, Monday through Friday. And the final postcast of the season tomorrow against the Buffalo Sabres. We'll have a full game day preview of that. But after the game, we'll have the entire postcast crew at Lalim's Martian, Jack Richardson. Both of us will be there. Really bittersweet, but we hope that you'll join us. We'll go long. We'll have some fun Thursday night after the Senators take on the Sabres in Buffalo. The Sabres have been eliminated from playoff contention. Jeff Skinner has gone how long? How many games without playing in the postseason? It's been 12 years for the Sabres. My goodness. We'll talk about that next and a little bit extra. You're listening to Locked On Senators. All right, Pillsy. Game 82 on deck. I also want to let people know, by the way, and just because we've been getting a lot of feedback from it online, Sens 40 promo code at farm2forkdelivery.ca is selling like hotcakes. It's selling like barbecue season is here.
Yeah, the deals are sizzling, that's for sure. And yeah, the weather is beautiful here in at least
plus 12 in Winnipeg, and it's 8:45 in the morning. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. It's nice in my neck of the woods in the Blue Mountains as well. I'm sure in Ottawa it's starting to peak up too. So why wait? Get all your freezers stocked. Get all your barbecue stuff ready to go and enjoy some square hamburgers.
I know. Yeah, go check that out. I mean, get this. So it's expensive when you just look at it at once, $400. Guess what? You're set for barbecue season. It comes with 51 items. Like 51 items. All you have to do for the whole summer is just shop for your sides.
And Ross, you get 40 bucks off taken right off the top right away with our promo code. Let's go.
Let's go. And the bundle's already down from $5.29. So you're saving huge on the barbecue bundle. Go check it out. Barbecue bundle. Our friends at Farm to Fork. Sens 40 is the promo code. We love our friends at Farm to Fork, all of our local sponsors who help this show tick, and you, the listener. We honestly can't thank you enough for making us your first listen each and every day. It really helps keep the vibes high. And as the chief vibe executives of the Ottawa Senators, as one of the 5-star reviews said recently on iTunes, we appreciate that wholeheartedly.
And Ross, just a little tease. We got a new local sponsor coming up. We're going to get to them on Friday. We're stoked about that for sure.
Full tease.
Oh, you're going for the full tease. Okay. Well, hey, if you're doing that, look, just a little tease. Maybe look into that a little before we do our official ad.
Oh, yeah. Sharp logo too there.
Yep.
All right, Pillsy. Tomorrow's game against Buffalo. Are you hoping that we get to see Craig Anderson one last time?
Absolutely. I mean, this is what I've kind of driven home.
Imagine going in a time machine and in 2011, someone saying, the year's 2023, and in April of 2023, Brian Elliott and Craig Anderson will play against the Ottawa Senators.
And the Ottawa Senators will get wins up against both those guys.
Oh,
But this is what I've been driving home for the end of the season. Although it's technically meaningless, both games are eliminated. There has been two. What?
just like Belleville.
Yeah.
Oh,
There is really good storylines. There's still some juice to squeeze out of this season. You know what I mean? And Craig Anderson's story is so crazy that he's still going. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Like Ross, I haven't played goalie in years myself, and I'm just at the young, spry age of 30. So I couldn't imagine doing this 10 years later, especially at the National Hockey League level. So Craig Anderson, he deserves stick taps. And Ross, this is poetic justice from the hockey gods. We didn't get to properly send off Craig Anderson due to the COVID season. So yeah, I know, but like, if there's one way that you can do it, at least this is some sort of way that we can see Craig Anderson off. I know it's not us sending him off, but we're there for that moment.
Ring of Honor next season or what?
I got him in the Ring of Honor personally. I think he's the best goalie of this franchise. If you want to argue that, you can just go look at any of the franchise leading stats, and that will show you pretty quickly where he's at with this organization. So I think Ring of Honor is a great spot for Craig Anderson.
Yeah, and if you take away, and obviously you don't just take away numbers like that in the stats or whatnot, but the last years when the Sens were rebuilding, that was an absolute shooting gallery against him. And if you take those out, he had a .919 save percentage in his first 271 starts with Ottawa. Like, this guy was ridiculously consistent. And I as well hope that we get to see Craig Anderson, especially because the curse is over, Pilsy. Brian Elliott has completely eliminated the former Sens goalie curse, allowing 14 goals in his last 2 games against Ottawa. It's over. It's over. Vince Carter, verbal gif. It's over. It's over.
Nice. We need some sort of graphic design where we can put the graphic up and then it like goes in flames.
Yeah. Martian, get on it.
I'll work on that. I'm ready. You saw my goggle mock-up of my own picture. Graphic design is my passion.
What did you which side of the argument are you on? Right before the break, I said, do you want to beat Buffalo and end the season higher than them in the standings? Or do you want to keep them just one pick lower going into the draft?
W. Give me that W, Ross. I want the win, especially the Buffalo Sabres. I want to see them go down in their last game. And then Craig Anderson, nice story. Hope to send him off, but I don't want to see them get another win here. And Ross, you will remember, we have a future bet on the Ottawa Senators from the beginning of the season when the point total was set at 86.5. Not a math guy, but 85 plus 2, 87 is greater than 86.5. So cha-ching if that happens. So you know me, my mind's on my money. I'm thinking about those dollars here so I can get a little extra boost heading into the playoffs here.
The Senators are back-to-back last game of the season champions.
Hell yeah. Raise the banner. Right with Andy's Ring of Honor. Let's do it.
They beat the Leafs in overtime 4-3 to end the COVID-shortened season. And then last year got the win in Philly 4-2, where Brady Tkachuk hit goal number 30 with 4 minutes left, 3.5 minutes left in the third period. He hit 30, and then with his empty netter, Austin Watson hit double digits with his 10th. So hilarious to look back at that last game of the Philadelphia season. And you look at the turnover in roster, and there's bound to be more, but like Chris Tierney played in that game. Adam Gaudette played in that game. Lots of names from Sens past have been in and out since then. And now you're looking at this team going into next season. I don't think the changes will have to be as drastic to compete, but certainly there will be some conversations had about what there needs to be done to improve the Ottawa Senators. We'll have that later on this week. Next week is going to be kind of a full eulogy week in terms of different storylines. We're going to reset the cap for next year. We're going to get into RFAs, UFAs, what kind of contracts we'd look for, and the UFAs. Who do you want to see back, and who is it time to say thank you for your service? But it's time to move on. Pilsy, it looks like one RFA will get qualified, and that's Alex DeBrincat. No secret. It's not like you're just going to pay a first, second, and third rounder and then just say, thanks for your service. 1 year, appreciate it, bye. So they will retain his rights, as Pierre Dorion announced. They will qualify him at $9 million.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's pretty expected. Although, Ross, we were talking before the show, I would say most people thought it was pretty obvious that Anthony Declare was going to receive a qualifying offer from the Sens, and they did not go that direction with him.
DeBrincat has an agent, though, right?
I think so. Yeah. So that might be a difference there. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Alex DeBrincat in this one, as that's going to be one of the biggest stories of the summer line. And he's got arb rights. So as Dorion said, he cannot wait to get into an arbitration battle with Newport Sports once again, as he is very familiar with doing that. We'll see how it all lays out here. That's for sure.
Yes, wonderful. I can't wait to see what happens with Alex DeBrincat, because this guy, 21-2 when he scores. There's no secret that that's a recipe for success, but it's how often is he going to be able to find the back of the net that will really make this a successful team if he does decide to stay. Now, people are caught up on that $9 million number a little bit. And again, we'll have all summer. Well, hopefully not all summer. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of the summer to prognosticate what we're looking for in an Alex DeBrincat contract. But that $9 million is just because it was the last year's salary. That's what he's been making this year, $9 million. But with that, you don't have to negotiate off of that number. However, if they do sign a long-term deal, Pilsy, I wouldn't be surprised if, to kind of make him feel like he's getting that, if you bring the AAV down a little bit, maybe he makes $10 million next year and then 7-7-7-7, and it's an 8x8 type thing. Because I think Sens fans, I don't know about you, but for me, anything under 8.5, I would be very, very happy with. Anything over, I'd have to kind of, grit my teeth a little bit at that.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, Ross. I've said it all along, and I'm going to maintain it. I think the best route for both sides is a shorter term deal. I think I don't love the idea of locking up DeBrincat for 5+ years. I think it just straps your core in, and then you're kind of stuck with who you got. Even though I believe in this core, I think you need some flexibility in some spots, and I think Alex DeBrincat would be a guy that would be a good way to go there. But Ross, one thing I haven't heard any whispers of, and I'm not suggesting this at all, but usually you get the odd whisper, is would the Sens be concerned about an offer sheet with Alex DeBrincat?
Oh, if you sign it, you'd have to be committed to then coming to Ottawa. Like, you wouldn't, right? If Ottawa matched it, you'd have to stay.
Yeah.
Long term. And that's something that you're not going to sign a short term offer sheet. That would be an easy match, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, if the offer sheet would get Ottawa more than they paid for Alex DeBrincat,
which was what, a first, a second, and a third?
Yeah. But different first round picks have different value, right? So if it's a team that's going to have a low first round pick, maybe it's a bit less than a seventh. But I don't know what the number is for compensation. But if it was 4 first round picks,
woo,
right, then it would have to be a thought. But no, offer sheets are so few and far between. I'd be surprised.
It's more of a fan fiction topic to go with when you're talking about offer sheets, especially when guys are in the cap category and compensation categories that Alex DeBrincat would be in.
Yes. So we will see here. Offer sheet calculator. Here we go. 4 first round picks. It would have to be an AAV of over 10.5. So probably not. The more realistic one here would be 8.4, between 8.4 and 10.5. 2 first round picks, 1 second round pick, and 1 third round pick.
Okay, so that you get an extra first round pick on that. Again, we're not suggesting that's what we're hoping for or anything. It's just the offer sheets are fun. They're fascinating because they don't happen that often, and it creates some interesting tension and drama between organizations like, I don't know, the Carolina Hurricanes and Montreal Canadiens that would have no reason to beef, but now there's something going on there. So we'll see what happens.
I'm really excited to see what this summer holds, because from an off-ice perspective, the ownership, I don't want to call it drama, but, the story has kind of dragged on here a little bit. We're at page 450, but there's no end page where you just keep flipping them. What's next as it's being written. But my God, if you watched any of that Wrexham game yesterday, 96th minute penalty, guy makes the save, diving save, gets it with his fingertips. Like, I want Sens moments like that captured on camera. And then Ryan Reynolds interacting with the goalie after the game. Like, that's what dreams are made of. So hopefully we get some of that with maximum effort going into next season. But for now, we've got tomorrow to look forward to. Mark Mathot will join the show tomorrow on Locked On Senators. We'll get some Craig Anderson stories out of him. I feel like that's just apropos, as the kids would say. Apropos, do we have a word of the day here?
As the kids would say, I don't know, Ross. I'm not sure too many kids are saying apropos.
Apropos. Very appropriate to a particular situation.
Oh, yeah. Those kids are always tossing that out there on the internet.
What's the word?
Apropos?
Any final thoughts today, Pilsy?
Final thoughts for me are it's sad that the season is coming to a close, but
Been a whirlwind.
Yeah, this has been an incredible season. The ups and downs have been insane this year, but for once, the future isn't that little white dot at the end of the tunnel. Like we're almost through the tunnel, and the light is very obvious here as this team's roster seems pretty set, and I'm fired up. And even outside of the Ottawa Senators, I'm a hockey fan, so round one is like my Christmas. I love round one, so I'm fired up for that.
My final thoughts, and I teased it, so thank God I'm here with the answer. Jeff Skinner against Ottawa will play his 931st NHL game. He has 0 playoff games.
I thought he snuck into the playoffs once with the Hurricanes. Wow.
0.
So he's going to hit 1,000.
Next season,
Yeah.
That's tough.
Tough.
I feel bad. He was like one of the best players in my age group. You know, he quit hockey for 3 years just to figure skate.
I mean, his skating is pretty sweet, and he can still score. So,
yeah, very
interesting move. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of summers to practice whatever he wants.
Yeah.
12 straight year without Buffalo playoffs. So Sens fans, 6 sucks. It sucks, especially for a team that's just been used to playoffs for my entire childhood, from 1997 through 2013.
Okay.
2014 was when the streak broke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made the playoffs every year there. Then they alternated for a couple. But yeah, 6 straight years without making playoffs. It sucks, but you know what? It could be worse. We could be Buffalo.
Yeah. Never go full Buffalo.
And for today, we say goodbye. For Brandon Pillar, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.